So, you've heard about Bitcoin, you've looked into it, and now you want to buy some. But the problem is that you have no clue where to start. No need to worry. I'll show you the several different ways you can buy Bitcoin, along with many other cryptocurrencies. Now, before we even talk about buying Bitcoin, the most important thing you need to know is how you are going to store it. Will you set up a wallet and hold your own coins, or will you allow another institution, such as a crypto exchange, to hold them for you? Holding your own coins, which is usually referred to as self-custody, is more complicated, but is generally seen as the much safer way to store your Bitcoin, because only someone with access to your wallet can move your coins. On the other hand, having another institution hold your Bitcoin for you is usually very simple, but it also comes with additional risks. For example, the crypto exchange could go bankrupt and stop you from moving your Bitcoin out of their account, meaning you would lose access to your money. This happened with FTX in 2022, and there is always the risk that it happens again. Think of it like buying gold. Would you rather buy some gold and store it in your house, or buy a gold ETF on the stock market and allow them to store and manage it for you? There are clear pros and cons to each option, and what you decide is totally up to personal preference. With that in mind, let's look at the first and most popular way to buy Bitcoin: crypto exchanges. A crypto exchange is a platform where you can buy, sell, and trade Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. These exchanges are fairly similar to many platforms that allow you to buy and sell stocks. If you use those, you should be able to easily use a crypto exchange. Along with being easy to use, crypto exchanges typically have all the cryptocurrencies you would want to buy and sell. Obviously, they are going to have Bitcoin, but other major coins like Ethereum and XRP are typically there as well. Sometimes they even have more niche coins if that's what you're interested in. When creating an account with a crypto exchange, you almost always have to verify your identity. This is often referred to as Know Your Customer, or KYC for short. This verification is done by submitting a proof of identification, like a driver's license, and taking a picture of yourself. This verification is not always instant, and sometimes you will have to wait a day or two before you can actually make purchases or deposit money in a given crypto exchange. For some, these KYC requirements are not something they are willing to do, and we will talk about some non-KYC options later, but it's important to know what they are, and that there may be a delay for your first Bitcoin purchase. The buying process on these exchanges is pretty standard as well. First, you will need to fund your account either by connecting a bank account or a debit card or credit card. Transfers directly from a bank account often take longer, while many debit card transfers are instant. However, many exchanges charge higher fees for card transactions. Fees are another essential thing to consider when using an exchange. Every exchange has fees somewhere because that's one of the main ways that they make their money. Often you will be charged a small fee when depositing money and when trading or converting cryptocurrencies. Every exchange charges fees differently, so it's extremely important to take a look at their fee structure before signing up. Exchanges also usually offer additional services. For example, on Coinbase you can hold USDC, which is their stablecoin, and earn, at least at the time of recording this video, 5% interest. They also allow you to stake Ethereum through their platforms and earn interest on that as well. They even have a debit card that you can use that allows you to earn money back in crypto. So if you're interested in additional features like that, an exchange might be the right option for you. With most exchanges, you can choose to either hold your crypto directly on the exchange, or you can transfer it out to your own wallet. So if you do plan on holding your own coins, you may still want to buy it initially on an exchange, and then just transfer it out as soon as you can. To get you started, here are a few of the most popular exchanges in the United States: Coinbase, Binance.us, Kraken, and Gemini. I'll have links to all those in the description below so you can see which one you like best. The next way to buy Bitcoin is fairly similar to the crypto exchanges, but with a few distinct differences. Financial apps that are typically focused around stocks have started getting into the crypto space. Think stock apps like Robinhood. These apps allow you to easily buy and sell crypto without the hassle of having to set up an entirely separate account. They also tend to have very minimal fees. Robinhood actually has no fees, which could save someone who is making a large purchase of Bitcoin a lot of money. With these apps, you are still going to have to do KYC verification and jump through all of those hoops. But if you are someone who wants to trade stocks or already has an account with one of these platforms, this could be the ideal situation for you. Robinhood also allows you to transfer your crypto out to another wallet, so you don't have to worry about it being stuck there. The big downside is that these platforms aren't going to have a large selection of cryptocurrencies. They'll have Bitcoin and a few of the other major cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, but probably not much more than that. Remember, these are primarily stock-focused apps, so Bitcoin is kind of a sideshow for them. Some other platforms you might not expect that have Bitcoin trading are Cash App and PayPal. If you have an account with either of those, you may be able to easily buy some Bitcoin right now. Another way you can buy Bitcoin is peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer just means buying Bitcoin directly from someone else rather than using an intermediary like an exchange. Giving $20 to a friend who sends you $20 worth of Bitcoin to your wallet would be a peer-to-peer transaction. These sorts of transactions can be popular with those who don't want to put their info on an exchange. There are sites like Local CoinSwap that connect individuals so that they can buy and sell different cryptocurrencies. Sites like this have a rating system so that you can find reputable individuals to trade with. This is important because performing peer-to-peer transactions has a lot of risks. If you send money to someone and they don't send you the Bitcoin you paid for, you might just be out of luck. Unlike with a crypto exchange, for example, where at least they have customer service, even if it's not very good. Obviously, if you're buying Bitcoin peer-to-peer, you will need to set up your own wallet as there won't be anybody to hold your Bitcoin for you. Peer-to-peer transactions are probably not going to be ideal for most individuals, at least not initially. If you do know someone who already has Bitcoin and may be willing to trade it, it could be a good way to get started. However, the risks associated with it could make it a little scary for those new to Bitcoin. Next, we have Bitcoin ATMs. You've likely seen a Bitcoin ATM at a gas station, convenience store, or the mall. They look very similar to regular ATMs, except that they have the Bitcoin logo plastered all over them. They've become fairly popular over the last several years, and they are definitely worth mentioning. You use a Bitcoin ATM fairly similarly to how you use a normal ATM. You insert the money that you want to use to buy Bitcoin. You then give it your Bitcoin wallet address. Then it sends you the Bitcoin. If you don't have a wallet, then it will create one for you and send the Bitcoin to that. The details of the new wallet will be printed on the receipt. Sometimes Bitcoin ATMs require you to prove your identity before purchasing, and sometimes they don't. But it does seem like more and more of them are now requiring KYC. The biggest drawback to using a Bitcoin ATM is the fee. The fees are often pretty steep. A lot of times you see them put the price of Bitcoin at a steep premium. So if Bitcoin is at $50,000, they may charge you as if it is at $60,000. So you get less Bitcoin and they make more money off of it. The other downside is that you have to physically go to a Bitcoin ATM. All of the other options allow you to buy it from the comfort of your own home. Bitcoin ATMs aren't always the ideal way to buy Bitcoin, but for some people they seem to work just fine. If you want to find one near you, I recommend searching for Bitcoin ATMs on Google Maps. There are probably a lot more near you than you would think. You could also buy Bitcoin through an investment product like the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. This trust is a way to have exposure to Bitcoin without directly purchasing it. Instead, another company manages and holds the Bitcoin for you while you just buy shares of the trust. A big downside to products like this are that you don't actually own the Bitcoin. Instead, another company has 100% full control over them. You can never take them out and transfer them to a wallet. Instead, you would have to sell your shares in the trust and go buy Bitcoin directly. There's also a management fee of 2%. Due to the way it's structured, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is available to purchase on a lot of traditional financial services. We are talking Robinhood, Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, those sorts of places. This is great for those more traditional investors who don't want to put money directly into Bitcoin. Instead, they would rather move money into a financial product on an account that they already have. If you just want exposure to Bitcoin and don't want to worry about all the other aspects of it, then this could be a good option. An interesting aspect of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is that it often trades higher or lower than the actual price of Bitcoin. So you may technically be buying Bitcoin at a discount or a steep premium depending on the market at the time. However, this would change if it successfully gets converted to an ETF. Which brings us to Bitcoin ETFs. Depending on when you are watching this, there may already be Bitcoin ETFs on the stock market. For the most part, they would work similarly to how a trust would. By buying into a Bitcoin ETF, you are buying Bitcoin that someone else is managing for you rather than buying it yourself. You can't take that Bitcoin out. Instead, you would have to sell your shares in the ETF. With the approval of Bitcoin ETFs, there should be more options to choose from than there were/are with the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. That also means you will likely be able to find an ETF with much lower management fees. ETFs are also typically looked at as much safer investments due to the regulatory scrutiny they are put under. And as I mentioned, they should much more closely represent the actual price of Bitcoin rather than working the way the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust operates now. So those are the ways that you can buy Bitcoin and some other cryptocurrencies as well. Thankfully, Bitcoin has been around for a while now, so there are a lot of options. For most people, buying it through a crypto exchange or an app like Robinhood are probably going to be the best option, but everyone is different, and how you buy and store your Bitcoins really depends on what exactly you want to do with it. Definitely take a look at these options. Relevant links are all in the description below. And while you're here, why not check out one of my other videos on Bitcoin?